be discussing all about the forms. I'll just open the form. So what I want to do is I want to cover all the topics related to Microsoft certification 2019 for Access. And in this video, we will be covering all the topics related to forms. So let's get started. So this is a form that is already open for me here. If you want to create a form from a table, you can just click on the table from which you want to create a form, go to create, and then click on form, and the form corresponding form will be created for you. Now, what I want to do, first of all, is so the very first learning outcome is add, move, and remove form controls. Um, So in the form, you will have three different views. One is form view, layout view, and the design view. Now, if you want to change or move any controls here and there, these are the controls. You have more controls in this area, that is form, layout, design. But if you want to move the already existing um, controls, you need to make sure that you are in the layout view. In the layout view, you can make structural changes. In the design view, you can make the changes that are not related to the data. So in the design view, you will just see the labels, but not the data. So let's go into the layout view. When you are in the layout view, form, layout, design, you can see the property sheet on the right hand side. If not, you can click on the property sheet. Now, what I want to do first of all is I want to change the size of this text box. Now, if it is given to you already that the the width should be 2 point something, for example, then all you have to do is you cannot just go here and change the width because then you won't know what is the size. So if you want the exact number, then you will have to go to the property sheet, width, and change that to 2.5, for example. Actually, that's too short, so maybe 6 sounds much better. So this is how you change it. Similarly, you can change for height, top, left, and so on. And if you want to move the controls, for example, I don't want the comment to be on in this area. I want the text box and the label to be on the right hand side here. I click on the comment, label, and the text box and move both of them wherever I want to move them. Now you would notice that I'm not able to move them outside of this area, and the reason is they are arranged in a stacked layout. Stacked layout means that they are grouped together. You cannot move them out of it. The difference between stacked and tabular layout is in the stacked layout, all the labels will be on the left hand side. In the tabular layout, all the labels will be on the header. So if you want to still move it towards the right of the payment type, you will have to actually first remove it from stacked layout. So notice that I'm in the layout view. I think that if I click, then it can be, I can just click on the stacked button and it will be out of stack, but that is not true. If you want to remove it out of the stack, you will have to select whichever one you want to move out of the stack, and then you can change it. You can move it wherever you want to. Or the second option is you actually go to the design view, and then in the design view, you will have the option of removing layout altogether. When you do that, then you can go back to the layout view, and now none of them are in the layout view. None of them are in the stacked layout. So this is also okay, but if you still wanted to stay in the layout view, you could have just selected the ones that you wanted to remove out of the stack and click on the stacked layout. Now they're not part of the overall group. That is one thing. Then Let form control properties. Add and modify form labels. So modify we have done, modify form labels. Uh, what I want to do next is, for example, I deleted the comments from here, and then I later realized that I wanted the comments to be here again. But now you have already created the form. So how can you bring back the comments field and the text box? So if you want to do that, make sure you go to the form layout design, click on add existing fields. When you click on add existing fields, it will show you all the fields that were part of the table from which this form was created. So you will see the comments here. Now all you have to do is move it and place it wherever you want to. Please pay attention to this line, the horizontal or the vertical line. This tells you where you're going to place it. So if you click here now, it will be placed on the right hand side. But if you don't want it on the right, you want it at the bottom, move it here. All right, so now because I moved it here, it is showing underneath the payment type. But because I earlier moved it on the right, it created two columns on the right hand side. Now, of course, I would like to delete these columns. So to do that, you can either right click, delete column, or select entire column and press the delete button, or you can go here, select column, and then press the delete button. Because I don't want them. Sort then. All right, let's go to the next one. That is modify tab order. Now, first of all, what is tab order? Let's go to the form view. Form view is actually how this form is going to look like when someone wants to enter the data in it. When I open it, the first thing that is selected here is the order ID. Tab is basically when you press the tab button on your keyboard, it tells you which field it is going to move to. So what I notice, it goes to the first order ID, order date, and so on. So this is the tab order while I'm inputting the data. Now I decide that I do not want this to be the tab order. Or I want that when I press the tab button, this never stops on the order ID because order ID is auto numbered. It means I never have to actually go here to input anything in the ID. So to do anything with the tab order, you will have to go to the design view. In the design view, in the form design, you will see in the tools tab order. If you click on the tab order, you will see that in the details section, all of your fields are here. All of them will always be in the details section because I do not have anything in the form header except the logo in this case, and then the form footer is empty. Now you can have more fields here depending on how many controls you put in, but always we work on the detail section because detail has all the data in it. Now, if you click on auto order, it will it will so it will change the order so that it is in the order how it appears in the form. But if you want to manually change it, for example, I want the comments to be on the top and then order date, customer ID, maybe on the second, and then payment. I click OK. When I go to the form view, the very first field that is selected is order ID. I press tab, then it goes to the comments, then customer ID, order date, and the payment type. And this is useful because it maybe you want to enter the data in this order. So instead of using mouse, cursor or pressing tab for no reason again and again, you can just change the tab order so that it suits how you want to order it. Other option you have is you can change the tab order from the property sheet also. So if you see, hmm, I think now I'm in the right place. Where is the tab? Okay, here. I'm sorry, sometimes I take time to find things because I also forget. In the property sheet, when you go to the other, make sure you are in the right place. That is, you have selected a text box. You will see that order ID for the tab index is 0. That means this is the first tab that will be selected. First field that will be selected when you press tab. Then order date is 3. Then customer ID 2. So that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 0, 1, the 0 means that it is the first field, and 1 means it is the second, and so on. Other thing that you have to notice here is the tab stop. Tab stop is set to yes. Yes means that you want it to stop on this field whenever you press the tab button. Now, I do not want it to stop on the order ID because my table assigns order ID automatically. So that means I should not have to go to the order ID to type something. So that's why I change it to no. That means I don't want it to stop. Then I go to the form design. Now notice that the very first field selected is not order ID, which actually was supposed to be based on the tab index number. But when you click on tab, it goes to all the fields except the tab order. So it changes the record, but it never goes to the order ID. And now it does not mean that you can never go to order ID. You can still go using the mouse, but you don't have to go because it is auto assigned automatically. So this is about tab order on forms. And then let's look at sort records by form field. Now you would notice that all the records in this order are sorted based on the order ID. So all the forms are sorted based on the order ID. That means the first order is showing the first, then second, third, and so on. Now I want to change the sort order because I don't want it to be sorted based on the order ID, but order date. So what I do, I click on the order date. So it is very important. Whichever field based on which you want to sort, click on that field and then click on ascending. Now notice what has happened. My very first record is not the order ID 1, but it is based on the date, and so on. Okay, now okay, within forms, you can apply filters as well. I want to see only the orders that were on cash payment, that were made by cash. So what to do? You can do it two ways. Go to selection, contains cash. When you do that, there are only 7 records that were cash payment. Or, so toggle filter is to apply the filter. So for the selection one, toggle filter is applied automatically. You don't have to click on it. You have to click on it to go back to the main menu though. But now I want to apply advanced filter because there are 2 filters that I want to apply at the same time. I want to look at the cash also, and or actually I want to look at check and credit card. So for that, it is not possible to apply using the selection anymore because there are 2 things that I'm interested at the same time. So that's why I go to the advanced filter by form And now you see this OR button in the lower end of the sheet. So this is where I'm capable of applying another filter. So look for, you can select whichever filters you want to apply. For example, you want payment type cash, not cash, we want check. And you want something else also, you can select that thing if you want it. Also, if you wanted order date to be greater than a particular date, select that date and type greater than. And then in the OR, the second one is going to be credit card. Now, please note whatever is in the one. So this means both of them have to be true for filter to be applied. In this case, whenever you move to the OR one, either this or that. So this means for the credit card, there is no limit for the order date, but for the check, there is. Now click on toggle filter. When you click on toggle filter, you see the records for credit card and check, but only for the dates that were greater than those dates, and so on. But you only see 15 because these are the only records which satisfy my rule, my criteria, that is before greater than this date and check, and then or credit card. So this is how you apply filters. Okay, this one, insert information in form headers and footers. So I want to add something in the form header or footer. I right click and go to the design view. And in the design view, you will see the form header and form footer. Now you want to add something in the form footer, you can add it. You can make some space over here by extending this detail section down. Now it depends what you want to add here. There will be, I have seen this question in the MOS exam multiple times, that is to insert a date for 24-hour, insert time for 24-hour format. So you just want time, not the date. And I have seen a lot of confusion related to this. So what I want is, I want to add the current time in 24-hour format in the form header. Now for that, I have seen students go, like, text box, they add the text box, and then they start adding, in the control source, they start adding the time function. That is okay, that's not wrong. But then you have to remember a lot of things, right? You will have to change the format here of the time, because it is not going to be exactly plain text. So you select what is the format, and that option is not very easy to figure out, because I do not want AM PM. I want 24-hour format. In 24-hour format, you do not have AM PM showing. Once it is 12 p.m., it then turns to 13. When it is 1 p.m., then 14, and it goes on until 24. That means there is no need of AM PM. So if you do this and you see AM or PM, you get to know that you have done something wrong. So this is not correct. So I'm just going to delete this. Actually, that is a very easy thing to do. All you had to do was header and footer, click on date and time, and then select whatever you wanted. If you wanted to include date. But I don't want, so I just remove it. And from this, you get to know how it is going to show up. These are not 24-hour format, only this is. You click and it is placed in this area automatically. And now you will see, when I click on this checkbox, I see the format short date. This is what I was interested in, short date, a short time, and just the time, not date. Now, when you go back to the form view, you will see the time without AM, PM. From this, you get to know that this is 24-hour. And if you are doing the MOS in, after in the afternoon, you will get to know by looking at the time. If it is greater than 12, then it is 24-hour format. Um, then if you want to change anything in the titles, for example, you don't want to have the orders, you want to have this as final orders, you can just go here and change it. You want to add different color, you can add a different color from here. You want to add a color in the header, you can change it in here. Now it really matters what you have selected. So if you have selected somewhere around here, the form header will be selected. That means whatever you're looking at is actually in the form header. If you click here, the form header is not selected. Now it is the title or header. How you get to know? You can get to know from the property sheet window. It says auto header 0. That is the very first element of header. So if you wanted form footer, you can either click on the form footer from here or click somewhere where this one is highlighted. If you wanted to work on the overall form, you need to make sure that you click outside of all the components and the form will be highlighted over here. That means now you're working on the form. Um, then I want to insert a background image in this form. It is little different than how you have seen. So normally I see all the details in all the controls here, and I've seen students click on insert image instead. You click on insert image, and then the insert icon shows up, but it is not going to be added in the background. I want to add a background image. So the place you have to look in is under the Format tab. Under the Format tab, you will see the background image and then add it in the background. Now and the next one is images on forms. I think the forms are mostly done. Let me just have a final look. Um, um, what else was on form? Okay, last one. Sorry, I forgot about one. That is control margins. I want all of my text boxes, so basically everything in the details section, in the medium control margin. Now for that to work, it is really important that what you are selecting and where you are. This thing you can do either in the layout view or in the design view. If you are in the layout view, make sure you select all of the components of the details section. So, or you click on the detail. When you click on the detail here, it will select everything, but you won't see the control margin. That is because you can only apply the control margin on these ones. How do you plan to apply on this overall window? So that's why they're not showing up here. Or you go to the design view, and when you have selected the detail in this area, then also you won't see the control margins. So the problem is you need to select the fields and the text boxes for which you want to add the control margin. So now all of them are selected. I go to control margin and click on medium. Similarly, you can do this in the layout view also. The only thing that is important is you select all the fields that you want to modify. Go to the arrange tab. Same way you can add the control padding also if required. If you wanted medium, then you can do this. The medium is already applied on the control margin, so that is okay. This is also one of the very important questions that you will see in the Microsoft certificate exam for Access. What else? I think that is pretty much all that you will see in the forms. And then, yeah, okay, that's it.